I'm gonna give you 5 tips when it comes to learning a language. I'm a polyglot, a person who's gone through the blood, sweat, and tears of learning a language. I know various languages, and I always get asked, Raul, what is your biggest advice? What is your secrets to learning a language? And I guess this video is a long due. In this video, I'm gonna be unlocking the 5 secrets that help me acquire various languages. Tip number 1, engulf yourself in the language 24/7. This means everything in your target language. Movies, series, even your porn has to be in your target language. Even if your language ability is non-existent, you will learn as you go. This forces your brain to think in that language because you're not giving yourself no wiggle room. You're going all in, you're burning all the bridges. A good example is the 300 Spartans that were pushed against the wall. They were trapped, they were surrounded, they were outnumbered by foreign enemies, and they knew if they gave up, they would die. So they gave their all, and they were able to overcome that situation. The same logic applies to language learning. By giving yourself no cheat days, by forcing yourself to learn that language, you're bound to learn the language you always wanted to learn. There was a time I really wanted to improve my Mandarin Chinese, so I headed over to rural China, a place no tourist, no foreigner ever went. In rural China, I started hooking up with a lot of rural girls that spoke no English, and little by little I started learning their slangs, their gestures. I started connecting with Chinese people to a deeper level, and this helped me tremendously, rapidly improve in my Mandarin Chinese. I burned all bridges. I gave myself no room to revert back to English. I could only depend on my Chinese speaking abilities during that time. I had to learn how to speak game in their language, and little by little I was becoming Chinese. I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. The easiest way, the fastest way to learn Mandarin Chinese, for example, is get a Chinese girl pregnant from rural China. A girl that speaks no English. And now you're fucked because you got a kid coming your way, and now you also got an angry father-in-law that just wants to beat you up. What more motivation do you want than that? Tip number 2, don't be fat as fuck. What do all language YouTubers have in common? That we're not built like a brick. Look, in order to learn a language, you gotta have a healthy mind. In order to have a healthy mind, you gotta have a healthy body. Don't even continue a video if you're built like a brick. Get your ass to the gym, Porky. Okay, I'm kidding, that's too much, but you get the idea. If your body's a mess, you shouldn't even be learning a language in the first place. Think of it as a pencil. The sharper a pencil is, the more you can write. The same with the body. The sharper the body, the sharper the mind, the more you can learn, the more you can study. Tip number 3, sacrifice everything. Don't listen to a Duolingo, the bird that's telling you that 5 minutes a day will make you fluent in your target language. Duolingo knows that the average person ain't shit, that they get distracted easily with porn, video games, or they'd rather be watching a movie. So they have to brainwash the masses into thinking that 5 minutes a day will make you fluent in your target language. But in reality, they know that the average Joe get distracted easily, that they got a short attention span. And if they make the average Joe study any longer, it will start to break the motor in their brain and they'll become fried. So that's the reason why they make it 5 minutes a day a thing. Listen to me. If you truly want to get fluent in your target language, you gotta be willing to sacrifice things. You gotta stop watching porn. This is messing up your brain. I sacrificed video games, I sacrificed movies, I sacrificed everything in the very beginning. I sacrificed weekends. I sacrificed many things in order to become a polyglot. In order to learn all those languages, you must make sacrifices. Tip number 4, have a good reason to learn the language. Don't go off learning a language for the wrong reasons, because you'll never be motivated to learn and fully understand that language. Not external factors, you need internal factors on why you decide to learn a language, personal reasons. A bad reason to learn a language is if you go online and you see somebody saying, oh, if you learn German, you can earn more money at your work. And then you start learning German and you find out every freaking native speaker in Germany is fluent in both English and German. Learning German just to earn more money will drive you crazy, because that's not a real motive, that's not a real passion, that's an external factor, an outside influence telling you should learn that language, and you're never gonna fully understand that language just because you don't have a real passion for that. Oh, I'm gonna earn more money. No, you're not. Why the fuck are they gonna choose you over the native 10-year-old German that can speak both English and German fluently? If you want to learn German, it's because you're an engineer and you know that the Germans are the best at engineering, so you want to learn it from them in their native language, in German. If you're gonna learn Spanish, it's because you want a big booty Latina. Having a personal reason will always keep you motivated when learning a language. Do it for that. Tip number 5, have a superiority complex. At the age of 25 years old, Alexander the Great conquered the world. And it pisses me off because he's the same age as me and look what he's accomplished. So I use that mentality in everything I enter. Whenever things get difficult for me, I like to compare myself to great people in history like Alexander the Great, and I think of the things he's overcome. And then look at things I'm currently facing with struggle. And I just start to think and convince my brain that it's just a minor hiccup. And this mentality is important because many language learners enter a language with fear. Oh, that language seems difficult. Oh, a lot of people are telling me that you shouldn't learn this language. And they become fearful. They become scared from the start. Since everyone says learning language is difficult, it corrupts the mind. And this mentality dominates them from the get-go, and they never truly understand how easy, how piece of a cake learning a language really is. Oh, learning a language? Easy. I use that mentality. I think of myself better than the rest to a certain extent. I think of myself better than the average Joe. This minor hurdle is only temporary, and I shouldn't even be thinking about something difficult because look at what Alexander the Great conquered. This is the mentality needed to become a 1% man. The mentality needed to overcome all obstacles, any difficulty. The mentality needed to become the best version of yourself. The mentality needed to win, to learn that language you've always wanted to learn.